Welcome back. Several years ago, as Michigan was debating reforms to our long-held no-fault insurance system, Eric Poe was a guest on Flashpoint, touting his ideas for a not-for-profit insurance company aimed at wiping out the problems of redlining in car insurance policies. He wrote what came to be known as the D-insurance model that never quite came to pass. Well, now that the Michigan no-fault landscape has changed, Poe's company is ready to open for business for Michigan customers, a state in which redlining has infuriated and frustrated many a car owner. And Eric Poe of Cure Auto Insurance is back to talk about it today. Eric, I can't believe it's been that many years. It was 2015 since you were on the program. But let me start with this. If Michigan had decided to stick with no fault, you would not be here now, correct?
Oh, that's unequivocal. In fact, 26 new insurance companies have applied to enter the state of Michigan as of July 1st because of the new law.
So when what you tried to happen with D insurance, and you know so much about the frustrations of Detroiters feeling like they have been redlined to death, literally in some cases, what happened with that what didn't work, and why is it different now?
Well, it's funny because the people that abuse the system, which is what's causing up these problems in car insurance rates, actually fought de-insurance because they didn't want to see any change anywhere. As a result of it, it actually backfired on them because now the new law applies to the whole state of Michigan, which will actually drive down rates for everybody in the borders of Michigan. So the reason why this bill is actually better than de-insurance is because it actually puts a full fee schedule that will make sure that nobody who doesn't abuse the system gets rewarded for it. And the people that don't abuse it actually get paid what is a reasonable rate for the treatment that they're accepting for workers' comp or for health insurance.
We've got a lot of people in this state, predictably perhaps, as some of them personal injury attorneys. We've got a lot of people who are still not happy with watching our insurance change. Most reporters and politicians in this town have now had their inboxes flooded with people pointing out that come July 1st, we're going to have about 6,500 Michiganders who have been the beneficiaries of lifetime care after a catastrophic accident. And a lot of that's going to go away because they're being told that they can only now have they've got to only have 55% of what they had been relying on to spend. Do you have any thoughts about the folks who are falling through this massive crack?
Yeah, so a lot of this stuff is gloom and doom propaganda. The reality is that everybody still has a choice of unlimited benefits under the no-fault system in the new law. What they're talking about is the fact that the studies showed that back in 2019, these different doctors and hospitals and injury group treatment centers were charging 5 times Medicare for what they were charging as a reasonable rate. So what the lawmakers did was they said, look, we're going to allow 2 times what Medicare is and what people accept, which is within reason of what their other doctors are actually getting currently from health insurance and workers' comp. So the reason why they put this 55% reduction in is because if you take the 55% reduction off of 5 times Medicare, you'll still get a rate that's significantly more than 2 times that Medicare number, which means that those people will still get paid more than what they're getting paid from a health insurance carrier or workers' comp carrier. So there's a misnomer to say that they're losing their benefits. It's that certain types of care are simply not covered under Medicare. So I'll give you an example. Attendant care is often used in these articles to say, well, there's somebody who's catastrophically injured. We have attendant care that was being paid for. And now with this new law, we're not going to get paid for that care. Well, there's a difference between attendant care and medical attendant care. And a lot of the reporters and a lot of these stories don't differentiate the two. So yes, we as a car insurance carrier, just like Medicare, will not pay for somebody to just be your spouse and sit in a room that has no medical background whatsoever, no certification in nursing, to pay them an hourly rate to sit and lie and sleep beside you. That's not covered by Medicare because it's not considered a medical treatment. But if you have a nurse that you need to have 12 hours or 24 hours of nursing care that is medically necessary and is reimbursed by Medicare, it's a covered actual treatment. So that's where I think a lot of the story is being lost.
And as Mayor Duggan has pointed out, and you and I spoke up on the program years ago, this is where car insurance suddenly becomes a commentary on the way our healthcare system works in America, of course. But some people, I think, have insisted, Eric, that Michigan was the only state that had unlimited long-term liability for no fault. And some people thought that was a marker that we were the worst car insurance state in America. Others argued we were the only ones who were doing it right. I suppose that is kind of a moot argument now that we have moved on to reform. So now, explain to me, you believe that you can save a lot of Detroiters well over half of what they're paying by moving to a not-for-profit model.
And that's primarily because 9 out of 10 car insurance companies in this country use your credit score to determine your rates. And the average charge that they're going to charge you if you don't have a 700 or above credit score is a 50% higher rate. We're the only car insurance carrier that we're aware of that does not use your credit score, doesn't do a credit check. We determine whether or not you drive your car responsibly. And because we eliminate that part, as you can imagine, there are people in Detroit that simply can't afford car insurance. It's the highest cost in the country.
Right.
So that's why our models show that if you do the research, we'll save between 50 or 60% off of what the current carriers are charging in the city of Detroit.
And when it comes to redlining, which is another massive problem here, can you guarantee that, because obviously cars are stolen more in, say, one neighborhood than another, isn't it necessarily going to cost that person more to insure their vehicle?
So that's where, like, the complexities of insurance usually confuse people in the media as well as legislators. Where you live is always going to be correlated, so long as the state allows it, to the propensity of a car being stolen. And those factors are independent from the redlining that I'm talking about. I've been outspoken about the industry using credit scores, and that specific component of credit scores is really more important. They actually did a study by Consumer Reports nationally that showed that if you have a sub 600 credit score in the United States, you will pay more than a drunk driver. Simply, even if you've never had a ticket or accident in your life, because your credit score is below 600. And that's really the redlining that we're talking about trying to end.
It's been powerful. Eric, thanks so much for the time. If we would advise you as you start shopping around, if you want to consider Cure Auto Insurance, it'll be available for Michiganders starting in July. Eric, thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
You bet. We'll take a quick break. Back with more to talk about the fireworks tomorrow night. This is Flashpoint on Local 4.